well,
residential, your house is now your office for a lot of the populace, right? These empty office buildings, though, put a little ding in that like plan, right? Because you're building all the density near all these offices, and now the offices are becoming less relevant to a lot of people. And you know, I saw Foch, I think, put a video out of people saying like enough is enough with saying it's really hard to convert offices to residential. Like, you know what else is hard? Converting dirt to residential and converting, you know, whatever to residential. So like enough is enough. But I think like the values of those offices have to come down considerably more in order for somebody and something to be worth going through that conversion headache, because it's a real nightmare to change these spaces, you know, from these big, huge, open, you know, floor plates to these little chopped up, plumbed and ventilated separately, and you know, like electrical separate. Like it's a real fucking job to convert these things. But like, is there policy that gets in the way and makes it far more costly to convert those? Or I think it's just a construction issue.
I think it's primarily a construction issue. Though the city is looking at reviewing its office replacement policies right now, because they have right now if you go into the city and you say, I want to convert this office building or take this office building down and build a tower, then they expect you to replace the office space to a certain degree. And in certain parts of the city, there's policy that say it's 100% replacement. And so the city usually fights for that, and sometimes they win and sometimes they don't. And I think they're taking another look at that in light of what's happened in the last few years. And so there'll probably be an easier policy environment for conversions in the future. But I think you got to have the long view about it too, because what happens when you get rid of that employment space and you turn it to residential? It's never going to go back. It's very unlikely to go back to employment space. And who knows where we're going to be in 20 years? You know, where's the
working from home?
But residential has turned into office space, right?
Yeah,
like
well,
residential, your house is now your office for a lot of the populace, right?
Mm-hmm. And one of the, I like that because I think it decentralizes things in Toronto in a way that actually really benefit the city in the long term. And I might have talked to you about this in the past, but I think the city's hyper focus on the downtown as the economic engine of the city has been sort of a drag, I think, on it, looking at other opportunities that are very well connected with transit. You look at Bloor and Dundas West. You look at Kennedy Station out in Scarborough. You look at those are a couple areas that are almost as well connected as Union Station to transit. They're on regional rail, they're on local rail. They've got streetcar or surface transit networks, and there's a bunch of parks and community facilities and everything else in those areas. And we should be densifying those areas like crazy and building new employment spaces in there, but building a bunch of new housing as well. Just so you don't have everybody in the geography of the city trying to rush downtown over 2 hours of the morning and then leave over 2 hours in the evening. It's just not an efficient way to use the city's transportation infrastructure or anything else. And ultimately, I think you create a more interesting, varied city across the whole geography, not just one area where you're focusing all the growth.
Greg, that is going to be one of our clips for our clips channel. That was a great way to end the show today.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
Final
TK.
topic of, future planning for the city of Toronto. Not so downtown centric, but we always appreciate you coming on. You're going to be back. I'm sorry to tell you. We're going to have to invite you again. This is
I always enjoy this. Hey,
I hope some planners are listening from the city from time to time, because I'm telling you, listen, if people can get through the nonsense of this show, there's a lot of real good stuff in here. And listen, both sides have to talk. There has to be a dialogue. It can't be just one side making all the stuff up and not taking in any feedback and stuck in this weird loop that doesn't work or spits out situations that maybe with a little bit of feedback you could have, thought about or a little more or dealt with, right?
Yeah.
There needs to be a dialogue out there. Hopefully, because listen, I've changed my opinion over time by having dialogue with the other side, right? It's not us against them. It has to be us.
Well, nobody, as a planner, nobody gets into planning to say no to shit all the time. I want to work with people who have good ideas. I want to help them through the process and influence it in ways that I think are good. And I want to see, I want to help collaborate and build cool shit in Toronto. I want this city to, be a great city for my kids when they grow up. And the way, I love living in this city. I want it to continue to do that for people. And you don't do that if you say no to everything. So
you get
yeah,
this
work
when
together.
you say no to everything. This is where we're at. A whole bunch of no's over time. No to this, no to that. No, you got to do this. No, you got to do that. No, throw this angle on. No, keep that heritage component. Right? No, there's the rental
maybe Greg can help
replacement.
us today with our like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, we got to do this because I got to go.
Yeah, if you can, that's okay.
Wait.
So
All right,
Greg,
like, comment, and subscribe, ring the bell. There's a
Ring the
bell,
bell.
isn't there?
There's a bell. That's it. There you go.
perfect.
Perfect.
That's all we needed.
One shot, baby.
Thanks, guys.
No, thanks, Greg. Yeah, I
Thank
got to
you,
run
sir.
too, but always
Adios.
a pleasure
good.
talking to you guys.
Amigos.
Always fun.
Good.
Always
We'll
a
talk to you
pleasure.
soon.
Greg, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys.
TK.